My name is Moataz Ellithi. I'm a third-year fellow at the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
My name is Magdi Elsallab. I am a director of process development and instructor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and part of the cellular immune therapy program at Mass General Hospital.
Since the FDA announced in last November that it had received CAR-positive T-cell malignancy cases and recipients of CAR-T, we thought to look into the database. We already were looking at the database for something else. So that intrigued us to look into the FAERS database for if there was reports on how many and kind of describe these reports. So we searched the database for all the suspected drugs that includes any of the 6 approved CAR-T products as a suspected drug for the adverse events reports. And we found close to 12,000 reports. Each report can have anywhere between 1 and hundreds of adverse events. So we further analyzed those by system organ class to look at the neoplasms, and then we excluded the non-specific terms like malignant, like cancer progression, or let's say if it's an approved indication and it's listed as an adverse event, we also excluded those. We ended up with a little over 500 cancers that seems to be second primary. And then we dive deep into the kinds of cancers. Myeloid cancers were the most common, followed by skin cancers, all the way to T-cell malignancies, which we found to be 19 cases in total. And it includes 4 out of the 6 approved products. We also looked at these cases, and mortality rate was high. We didn't have enough data to describe the characteristics of these patients, but we also looked at the likelihood of reporting for these malignancies, and we found that the likelihood of reporting for T-cell malignancy after CAR-T was significantly higher in the T-cell group. Some of the other groups have like a few patients, less than 3. Those we were not able to calculate their odds. But I think with as the data builds up, we probably will have more information and can do more analysis on this.
I think mainly the idea was to provide some more context, because when the FDA released the news about the T-cell malignancy, they didn't share a lot of information about the cases. And this was one of the main motivations why we wanted to look at the FDA adverse event reporting system and try to see what additional information was available. We also tried to see if there was any other associations between the T-cell malignancies and other adverse events that were reported in the same cases or in the same reports, not cases, reports. So we tried to provide more information to the public and to the patients about those cases and their circumstances. Of course, this comes with the limitations of the FAERS, because there are different limitations that the FAERS suffer, including duplicate submissions by the patients and the manufacturers and the healthcare providers. Also because, and this is very, very important, and I cannot stress on this more because this gets confused, we don't have a denominator of the number of products that has been infused so far into the patients, so we cannot establish incidence of the side effects. However, we worked with the data that we were able to get from FAERS and to give more idea on how many reports there is and how much these reports represent from the total reports that have been submitted to the FDA.
I think it's an area of it's an evolving area for regulatory approvals based on the positive some of the data. I think also patients and their family demand access to some of these promising treatments. I know the FDA is doing its best to try to approve drugs that really works. And I think what muddies the water is such a concerns of secondary malignancy and other things. I think that brings us back to what we found, which is very low fraction of T-cell malignancy overall have been spontaneously reported. I mean, the FAERS is a spontaneous reporting system. Anyone can report an adverse event. And also manufacturers are required to report such important events. And we could only see 19 cases, 19 reports out of 12,000 patients. So again, I think it's hard to make regulatory decisions with such not enough data.
I think it is the process of approving a product involve weighing the benefits and the risks. And it is very important to take the cases of adverse events within the bigger context of how important and how transformative CAR T cells has been to a lot of refractory and relapsing hematologic malignancies. And the impressive numbers of response rates and in some cases the long-term response for the products is still impressive, and in head-to-head trials has been shown to be superior. So it's very important to understand that products usually will have risks, and it's the idea of the benefit risk assessments and balancing this for regulatory decisions, which I think the FDA takes into account when they are looking into expanding the indications for CAR T cells.